You were talking, and then you weren't. Somewhere mid-sentence, a part of you stepped back from the window and drew the curtain. The conversation kept going. Your mouth maybe kept moving, but the part of you that was reaching out, it left the room. And the strangest part, you didn't decide to. The people around you have names for it. Shutting down, going cold, checking out. They say it like it was a choice you made to hurt them. But you know it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like a door closing behind your eyes, quietly, on its own. One moment, you're present. The next, you're behind glass, watching yourself from a few feet back, unable to find words that were right there a second ago. This is the sudden quiet. Almost no one who does it understands why. We're about to. It started long before the argument you're picturing, in a house where reaching out didn't reliably bring warmth back. Maybe your feelings were too big for the room. Maybe they met a sigh, a turned back. You're fine. Maybe no one was even unkind, just tired or absent or carrying too much. The reason matters less than the lesson your nervous system quietly filed away. Reaching out is risky. Reaching inward is safe. Psychologists call this a deactivating strategy. A child who learns that showing a need brings disappointment learns instead to switch the need off, to soothe itself in private, to go quiet rather than ask and be left wanting. Picture a thermostat in a cold house calling for heat that never comes. Eventually it stops calling, not because the cold stopped mattering, because asking stopped working. That was you, very young, learning your first language, and your first language was silence. What kept you safe then is the thing people hold against you now. We'll get there. Here's what happens in your body the moment you go quiet. When emotion climbs past a certain point, the part of your brain that finds words starts going offline. Your heart rate rises, your system floods. Researchers who study couples can actually measure it. Past a threshold, people simply stop being able to absorb what's being said to them. The first thing to leave is language. Think of a fuse box. Too much current runs through the wires. The breaker trips, the lights go out. It isn't the house being dramatic. It isn't punishment. It's a mechanism doing exactly what it was built to do, cutting the power before something burns. Your silence is a breaker tripping. There's a narrow window where you can feel something strongly and still stay in the room. Outside it, you get two options, flare or flatten. The ones who go suddenly quiet are the ones who flatten, the body choosing stillness over collapse. So your silence was never the absence of feeling. It was the sound of feeling too much with nowhere to put it. For some of you, the quiet doesn't follow a fight at all. It comes from something steadier. Jung had a word for the face we show the world, the persona, the mask. It isn't fake, everyone wears one. But some people wear a heavier one, the capable one, the fine one, the easy to be around one who never makes things awkward by needing too much. Holding that face is work, like holding a smile for a photo that never gets taken. At first it's nothing, then the muscle shakes, then it just gives. Sometimes that's all your silence is, not coldness, a battery that hits zero from the effort of seeming okay. And here's the real cost. People get your performance, then they get your silence. They almost never get the true thing in between, the part where you were struggling and couldn't say so. Which brings us to the loneliest piece of all of this, what the silence looks like from the other side. From the outside, withdrawal almost never reads as pain. It reads as punishment, the silent treatment, coldness, contempt. The person across from you watches you go quiet and feels the floor drop because to them your silence isn't a breaker tripping, it's a door slammed in their face. This is the cruelest gap in human connection. You went quiet to keep from saying the thing you couldn't take back, They felt abandoned. Same moment, two completely different events. And underneath it, a hard truth. Each of us is sealed inside our own interior. The other person only ever sees the closed door, never the storm behind it, the flooding, the scramble for words, the part of you that wanted to stay and couldn't. What felt like self-protection to you felt like abandonment to them. And both of you were right. That's the loneliness of it. So let me say the thing no one told you. You don't go quiet because you feel too little. You go quiet because you feel too much. A shallow person doesn't flood. Someone who didn't care wouldn't need a breaker at all. The very capacity that overwhelms you, that pulls the cord and drops the lights, is the same one that lets you read a room before you walk into it, sense what someone isn't saying, love people carefully, carry weight without complaint. Your silence isn't a fault in the wiring. It's a feeling system running at full bandwidth. The Stoics kept an idea worth holding on to. Marcus Aurelius wrote that there's no retreat quieter or more peaceful than the one a person finds inside their own mind, and that most people spend their whole lives training to reach it. You found it when you were small. That isn't weakness. That's someone who learned, far too early, to carry the unbearable without making a sound. The silence never needed to be cured or forced open. It only ever needed a light left on. The people who love you don't need you to never go quiet. They need to know what the quiet means, that you haven't left, that you've gone inward to stay whole, and that you'll come back. You always come back. So here's the sentence that changes everything. The one to leave at the door on your way in. I'm not gone. I just need a minute. Because you were never cold. You were never broken. You were never too much. You were a deeply feeling person who learned, very young, to protect what was tender by going still. The silence was never a wall. It was a held breath, waiting for the world to feel safe enough to let out.